Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' the Country, where I react to non-pop country. Traditional primarily, but it could be folk, could be western, bluegrass, Cajun, these things, but non-pop. Roger Smith made a gift to the channel for me to do Randy Travis's song, The Hole. Now, I don't think I know this one, and I'm looking forward to it because one, it's Randy Travis, and two, Roger said that this will appeal to my philosophical side and our philosophical mindset. And I love that because I was a philosophy major at Rutgers, and I still have a very philosophical bent about life. I like looking at the big picture, the macro things, the micro stuff, the smaller things, nuances, all of it. I love that. So we're going to see what Randy does. But your timing was impeccable on this one, Roger, because prior to receiving your gift request yesterday, I had done a few reactions, just non-gift requests, because I always have a song up every day. And so I just call these like general population ones where I have not missed a day in 9 years. One day I didn't post something, but that was purposeful just to see how that would alter the algorithm. So 9 years, every day, a video. I had done Jason Eady's AM Country Heaven, which I had done about 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it was blocked worldwide. And I'd given it a 10. I loved it, and I decided I'm redoing it. And I mentioned you in doing it because you're probably Jason Eady's worldwide #1 fan. And then later in the day, I get a gift request for this one. So anyway, the timing was spot on. So in several days, it might be a week, depends on how they post, that song will be up by Jason's. But in the meantime, we've got Randy Travis's The Hole. All right, thank you for this gift, Roger.
A friend of mine bought himself a shovel, said, I'm gonna tunnel me a mine. He set out to be a rich man, happiness is what he thought he'd find. Got in too deep to see the diamonds, down too dark to see the gold. Now he won't let go of the shovel, and he can't dig out of the hole. Deeper and deeper, he's going down, driving his future right into the ground.
Oh boy.
He thinks he's closer the further he goes, but he's still on the bottom, and he can't dig out of the hole.
That's an interesting idea.
I tried to throw the man a lifeline, I tried to send him down a rope. I don't think he hears me calling, but every day I pray and I hope somehow he finally gets a message. Every spade of dirt he throws only gets him closer to the devil, and he can't dig out of the hole.
I never even thought about that expression, to dig yourself out of a hole. How do you do that? You just dig yourself deeper. I never even thought of that. I know what the expression has always meant, just to, get yourself out of a bad situation. You dig yourself out of a hole. But it's like, you dig yourself deeper and deeper into a hole. That's what digging is for. He just said, somebody throw you a rope. It's like, that's what you need, a rope or a ladder. If you're in a hole, that's the type of help you need. Interesting expression. You can't dig yourself out of a hole. Can't. You got to climb out of it. All right, here we go.
Deeper and deeper, he's going down, driving his future right into the ground. He thinks he's closer the further he goes.
Got a passion.
He's still on the bottom, and he can't dig out of the hole.
Interesting instrumentation for this theme.
Maybe we could learn a little lesson. Maybe this will shine a little light. There's no healthy way to mess with the line between wrong and right. Use the one chance you've been given, 'cause once you're in the ground and cold, it's too late to start living. You see, you can't dig out of the hole.
When you're dead.
Deeper and deeper, he's going down, driving his future right into the ground. He thinks he's closer, further he goes, but he's still on the bottom, and you can't dig out of the hole. It's hell on the bottom, and you can't dig out of the hole.
That was an interesting way of saying he's digging his own grave. He made reference to, earlier in the song, he made reference to something about the devil, and then here it's hell on the bottom. Part of this has to do with feedback, but I will say this about the guy who's got himself a shovel. Maybe that's all he could afford in a literal sense, let's say. We look at it literally and then, extrapolate the meaning out there. But he's got a shovel because he's looking for diamonds and gold. Maybe he's just looking for a way to provide for his family. But maybe you could say, all right, what is the banker's tool? The banker's tool is, get behind a desk, loan money and all this stuff. And you pursue that career goal, whatever your career is. Maybe people pursue it in music. They move to Nashville, or acting. They move to LA. People do things. People start up restaurants, whatever, and they fail. 90% of startups fail, and that's why I love seeing people succeed, because I know they buck the odds. They made it work. It isn't necessarily because they're harder working or smarter. The dynamic of life allows some people, puts some people in a good spot. They succeed, and they are no smarter or harder working or better actuaries, like risk analysts, than these other folks. It's just there are certain dynamics that let you succeed, whereas the others didn't. I mean, if hard work was all it took to succeed in business, there would be far more businesses out there. But in this case, I like that line where, like, he got so deep in it, there was not enough light for him to even see the gold. And you can lose yourself in your pursuits. And feedback from the outside, from friends, family, colleagues, whomever, who are saying you might want to consider that you're kind of on the wrong track, or you might want to pull back and go in this direction. And I mean, I've studied a fair amount, listened to a lot of seminars as well from some very, very bright people. And it's called sunk costs. And sunk and the whole, it's kind of a similar idea here, where the more effort you put into a given endeavor, the more likely you are to pursue it. The more likely you are, once you've sunk so much emotion, thought, money, effort into a given pursuit, you're more likely to continue putting money into it, putting effort into it, even if it's going in a bad way. And you need people on the outside, and that's what outside consultants will do. They'll get hired by a company, and the company, it could be a small company, a small business. Bring in the consultant. The consultant can look at it less emotionally. It's not the consultant's money that's in it. So you don't have those sunk costs. You can look at it and say, the problematic business, and say, here's where the problems are. You might want to actually close up shop. Now, anybody who's been in business, who has skin in the game, doesn't want to dial it back. They want to find a way to make it work, and it doesn't always work. Some businesses turn around, but the passion is there. That's human nature. When somebody has ambition, it's a beautiful thing. They may be pursuing a bad thing. There might be a dynamic at work. I mean, people who started businesses right before COVID hit wound up imperiled, and a number of them did not work. If you had, say, a fitness club that you opened a couple years before COVID. You might have been doing fine, and then all of a sudden, boom, the world shuts down. And that's where, when I refer to the dynamic of life, there are so many things outside our control. It isn't just about your effort. It isn't about your intelligence. Some things are out of your control that negate all of that. COVID was a good example right there. So, yes, Roger Smith, you got me going. There's so much in here. But hey, you got to go. If it's your passion, you got to pursue it. And if you fail, you'll not only learn from it, but you might resurrect. And guess what? You might even succeed. There you go. All right, I'm going to rate this. I love the instrumentation in this. It was interesting though. I thought with a theme like this, it would be a slower moving one, but I think it was meant to be consistent with the dude's drive and passion to look for the diamond and the gold. Assuming that was just a metaphor, but even if it was literal, I thought it would be slower, but I think it was meant that this dude's hard driving. And so I'm going to rate this, and the number that immediately popped into my head was a 9.0. And it was really poetic. I think it was more poetic than even one listen would reveal. I do. I think this guy was basically digging his own grave. I think that's what he was saying in here. So there you go. All right, Roger. Yes, you spun me out, my friend, and I love that. Not in a bad way. You spooled me up is a better way of wording it. So there you go. All right, guys, have a great day. Pursue your passion and keep rocking the country.
Got in too deep to see the diamonds, down too dark to see the gold. Now he won't let go of the shovel, and he can't dig out of the hole.